how much does any of it matter? If Kentucky finishes first and they win the SEC, if they finish fourth in the SEC, does any of that really matter now? Because ultimately, all it's going to come down to, Doug, if they lose, now again, it's for seeding. They want to get a number 1 seed, but let's say they, for argument's sake, they get a 2 or 3 seed. And they lose again in the first weekend. Let's say they win the first round game. They don't get upset, but they lose in the second round. What's it going to be like in Lexington, Kentucky about John Calipari? Because to me, you can have the greatest regular season, but it doesn't matter for Big Blue Nation. Like, you got to get them to the Final Four again, or at least the second weekend, don't you?
Yes. That's the job, and he knows that's the job. And I would say that, like, look, Cal has been, I don't want to say slow to evolve, but like, this is different, and he's had transfers that have worked differently, right? Like, his success there has been, hey, go out and get the 5 best incoming freshmen, and then you have 1 or 2 kind of returners to help with your culture. And, that's how he won his national championship there. Well, the world has changed. You're losing, of the top 10 players, 1, not every year are the top 5 players good enough to really help you. 2, remember, college basketball is older because we still have, 1 more year of COVID kids. So you're going against 24, 25-year-old guys. Like, that's hard. And 3, you have Ignite, you have Australia and New Zealand, you have Overtime Elite, you have some different ways in which, you're losing probably 5 guys a year. And you've seen some of the top recruits in the country go to Auburn, go to Alabama, go to other places and see success. So the world has changed. So you have to, like, it's hard to tell a Kentucky fan, like, hey, it's different than it used to be, right? It definitely used to be. So I think in Cal trying to figure it out, he's done a really good job. But again, like, can you believe that they didn't get a Hunter Dickinson? Like, if it was a bidding war or if it was about going to the NBA, like, how can you?
No. Here's what it was. He was scared to play with those freshman guards because he wasn't sure if he would ever see the basketball.
Understood. Right. And I would have agreed with him, right? Because you have Kansas got the truest point guard who's won a national championship, and they get him the ball. Like, I get it. But what I'm saying is that if you're a Kentucky fan, you can't fathom a world in which the best players, it's a bidding war and it's Kentucky. Like, dude, we won these wars back before there was NIL, right? So the world has changed. And I think the big step that you and I see offensively, they've evolved. That's big for John Calipari. Not just running floppy every time down the court, right? And he's tried to evolve on the recruiting. Who do I retain? Antonio Reeves. Who do I let go? Who do I bring in? How do I coach him? He's never been afraid to coach guys, and how he's coaching Wagner, I think, is amazing. I mean, you've got to be a Hall of Famer to take a guy with that sort of reputation and that sort of history with his dad and not play him 35 minutes and just let him go and let him take 25 shots a game. So I actually think Cal's doing an amazing job, regardless of where they finish. But if they don't get to the Sweet 16, oh yeah, it's going to be, DEFCON 5, just like you're seeing with the Dallas Cowboys when they lose.